Admiral, let me begin by asking you about the challenges of the piracy off of Somalia and the east coast of Africa, and what's being done to meet those challenges.
Sure. Well, as we see the piracy evolve, they tend to react to how we do business. So we've tried to open a corridor through the Gulf of Aden and maintain that area, and that's forced the pirates out further away from their shores and out further into the Indian Ocean. We've seen piracy actions over towards India and down as far as the Mozambique Channel and, of course, out near the Seychelles. The area is enormous, and we just don't have enough assets to cover every place in the Indian Ocean.
If you had a fleet the size of World War II, could you do that job?
I don't think we could get there with a World War II fleet plus. And the way that the pirates operate, it's very tough to distinguish what's a pirate boat and what's legitimate fishing or commerce vessel out there.
Now, the U.S. Navy has captured 5 pirates. What are the legal concerns about what to do with them?
Well, I mean, clearly we've captured them. We've got them on board our ship. We're developing the evidence, and now we have to figure out how to try them and bring them to justice. And that's a political decision that's being made here in Washington.
And how do you stop the piracy on land? In other words, how do you go after the money?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways. It's an input and output game. So the money that comes in to finance the pirates needs to be traced. The money that's being paid to the middlemen and the money that's going out to buy things, and those things are real estate, for instance. And so we really need to go after, in my opinion, the money, the logistics, how are they being supported with ships, fuel, those kind of things, and we really need the rule of law piece to be fixed so that when we do catch these pirates, we're able to bring them to justice.
What's the relationship between the pirates and the real estate?
Right now, and I can only go on anecdotal evidence, but when I travel down into Kenya or in Ethiopia, continually confronted by the leadership down there complaining that rich Somalis are coming in and buying up all the real estate in that area. It really appears there's a very clear connection there with the money that's being paid to the pirates.
Do you think these private ships should be armed?
Well, I mean, there's got to be security on these ships, in my opinion, and those security detachments that are on some of the large commercial ships have been very effective. And it's up to the commercial industry to figure out how to deal with this. But I don't think that we can give them 100% guarantee that we can protect them, nor should we.
So how does this problem get solved? What kind of, do you see any even medium-term solutions?
Well, I mean, the ultimate solution obviously is to establish rule of law within Somalia. That's going to take a long time. And this tactical level of this problem, going out and catching pirates at sea is, as we've discussed, very difficult. So I really do think that it's going to take all of the nations getting together and really tackling the other non-military pieces of this that we've talked about, the money, the rule of law, the logistics piece, the political aspects of this, so that we can, go after this in a more coherent and comprehensive manner.
There has been sort of an unusually large international component to this whole effort. Can you describe that, please, and how that's being coordinated?
Sure. Well, obviously, we have ships from a lot of nations that play. Some play under organizational banners, NATO, the European Union, Task Force 151 under, and then some deploy as national assets, Chinese, Russians, Indians, Iranians. We've, in Bahrain, set up a coordination center there where all of the different participants are able to put liaison officers and see where everybody's operating so that we're not conflicting with each other. We have an organization called SHADE that allows all of the participating nations to voice their concerns and participate in it. So it's a way of though everybody wants to have their own national priorities and responsibilities, it's also a way of being able to deconflict with the other nations.
Now, there's also a piracy issue on the west coast of Africa that is even more violent than the one we traditionally think about on the east coast. Could you explain that, please?
Sure. Off of particularly Nigeria, but in Cameroon and those areas, there's been what I would call violent piracy, where either on the oil rigs or on the ships in the area, the pirates have come aboard, actually killed people, and instead of taking for ransom ships, take for ransom people. And that's caused the loss of many lives down in the area, and is of great concern to me that in that area that we're really able to tamp this down before it gets going too big.
Now, how can you use the Africa partnership stations in an effort to attack that kind of piracy with training or other assistance from the United States to the local countries?
Sure. The Africa Partnership Station's been a huge success. Though the U.S. helped sponsor it, we've really gone out to all the other nations to participate, and we've seen ships from countries like Belgium, the Netherlands, all participate down there. We have international partners who ride our ships from countries like Brazil, from all of the all the countries in Europe. And we also have all the participating nations of Africa ride on the ship as part of the staff. This brings great synergy to what we do. As the ship pulls into whatever country, we're ready to go when we land, and we train a large number of these maritime professionals into how to do everything from small boat repair to navigate at sea to do boarding parties to rule of law and ethics and legal. So it really has raised the awareness and the capabilities of these navies to enforce the laws in their own areas. And it's not just about piracy. It's about drugs, counter drugs. It's about illegal fishing. It's about illegal oil bunkering, the whole plethora of challenges at sea. And I think a lot of nations are starting to understand now how much of their income is derived from the sea, how much commerce moves through their waters, and how important the maritimes are to these African nations.
It would appear that the Navy and other elements here at the Pentagon are trying to move away, at least in some instances, from this hard power, kinetic contact with the bad guys to a softer power, training and education of allies. Would that be?
I think that's very accurate. That it's a lot cheaper and a lot more constructive to train the allies how to do the job and to let them enforce those their own territorial seas, their own economic exclusion zone, than for us to have to come down there and end in a shooting war. And so I think across the board in our Department of Defense, and for that matter throughout our entire interagency process, we're very focused on trying to build this capacity and capability in our allies and partners.